Assalamu alaikum. Checkpoint Coffee ge a podcast ka marhaba nekka es den puri podcast ga waha kadakkaliyan mifahar prodama hoga mid local gaming community ga ole mihuna boda waha kadakkaliyan me ole miden mifahar padda mikollani Shimhaq ki mikolu ga wara renowned video game artist en adihasako Soulsborne, Bloodborne, Sekiro, Dark Souls etchiga artist wara bodan hada. He is also one of the best Soulsborne artists out there. So Shimhaq, kine varikanta?
Nagolo, thank you about Tasin and invite Kozlima. Yeah, been recently as to start a Kurahum fetching for myself, started doing some character artists and negative in Soulsborne. I think I started with Bloodborne and then aesthetic game Kulono Fahon, then Dark Souls. I started on all of the Soulsborne things and a art as to Kurata maybe about I think it's about 3 years my character art board of Kurata, so it's been a while and just since then, even from software in Echi recognized, it's been a very good like till now.
Yeah, your character artworks are really something. Sekiro etchigas and Dark Souls etchigas, it's really good. And also, I would like to know kinetta why specifically me Sekiro meeching and Bloodborne etching kine we feshi.
Aslo, when I started off Furatam and Kuram Fachir or Baro and animals a chair Kureding, Aeroga inspiration Asto around 2018 about there's an annual art prompt that goes on during October. So October again and Inktober ki actually like it still goes on now so Inktober purpose ki komme October ke komme duwa ko art working hedo. So during 2018 I thought why not I was just getting into Dark Souls games. Other Dark Souls na schooling here I played Bloodborne, I played Dark Souls 3 year. Then I thought why not do October komme duwa artwork of Dark Souls commerce characters. So Dark Souls has 3 games here, Dark Souls 1, 2 and 3. So I had a lot of characters commerce you can choose Kuram. So since I was transitioning from Animals Kurahang, there wasn't much support also around it because the Souls community and nobody knows who I am. So once I did that one I drew and Komedo Kurei Hama Dark Souls commerce game commerce characters. So mostly bosses Kurei. So 30 days there was a huge community around the artwork thing. So spawn there discovers which then I also discovered myself as the transitioning characters Kurahum was much more interesting and characters get was boda dark fantasy so exactly Souls vibe in Misaka Mika dark fantasy the boda Kura. So and then Vadavan Misaka then mangas like Berserk and because Berserk is a huge inspiration for Dark Souls though. Like Dark Souls Miyazaki loves Berserk and there's so many references again Naga. So hey, what I want to get again how them character it's just somehow I have plans as in Miyaharas to change it up a little bit, but still how remaining these characters though.
Yeah. Vara characters the vara tafat vara reeti especially the bosses though vara unique Dark Souls
very nice.
Yeah. So I would like to ask Miharu Dark Souls Soulsborne mihan kurahai. What is your favorite me character
Oh Kurahang I think Bloodborne to this day because Bloodborne Furutam from software Kolum game. So HV game was then after me Kulun Fahum was still Bloodborne some events the best one. Bloodborne get you background on Kurava. I think Bloodborne get was our favorite is a hunter the Kura. Hunter or a Bavar Kurava. Hunter a moon presence like a background on Kurava. Dark Souls I think boss kang magina kure recently I think Nameless King name magina kure. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Nameless King is also one of the toughest bosses
yeah.
But also it's really good because Bloodborne kannega Soulsborne terega with low expect
yeah, because Yeah, because emihun was as the I think air release kuri prototype gota because Souls ge formula mihun negative Bloodborne probably emihun ge release kuri thinking tankole ehen community echa wade dane do misaga
Yeah,
Bloodborne kule for again aggressive gameplay mihun like vejja that they might get more players into the Souls community and it worked I think
yes,
massively though.
yeah,
And they use that formula for Sekiro, which is much faster even than Bloodborne. No?
yeah.
So let's hope Elden Ring is something
Yes.
similar. Nikon Nairakoda if people are alive by then.
My God, we don't talk about Elden Ring. Nobody knows what happened to Elden Ring. Though, adi some
Yeah. I think there were some leaks of Miyaru, but
Yeah.
it doesn't look like polished etching in though.
Adi final productive vattaru harangalakanu
Yeah. It looks graphics and everything even a PS2 gaming in though, so probably Nimeru innani gotakanu kannada. ಎಬ್ಬರಿಗೆ ಅಣೆ ಜೋರ್ಜ್ ಆರ್ ಆರ್ ಮಾರ್ಟಿನ್ ನಿಮ ಕಣ್ಣಗೆ ಸ್ಲೋ ಅಣೆ ಏನೋ ಫೈಬಸ್ ನೋಡಿ ಮಿಗಣ್ಣ ಅವಳೆ
ಏನಾಗ ಮಸ್ತ ಎಕ್ಕನ್ನೆ ಅದೋ ಮಿವಳೆ
but he said demanding contribution image so I guess it's up to the developers stuff from now.
Yeah, it's something that we are very much looking forward to though.
Yeah, of course.
So Korean gottaga, are there any projects that you are interested in that you are currently working on?
I have a couple of projects going on, but sadly all of them are under non-disclosure, so I can't discuss it. But yes, Korean, I think in the next couple of months, I'll be able to talk about more of those projects. As far as personal projects, I've been thinking about even going right now. Miharu boda mikurani game ichistada. So I've been thinking of still diversifying more characters wise, going into maybe even Marvel DC universe ichistada. Because sort about dreaming comic kan asche kuranda. So actually I need to have some solid work. Get to even suggest them or ask them to approach them. I need some work. I did draw Kuring Marvel buying echista hundada like tankole Kuring about I think 2017 is Iron Man echista but not significant enough misaga to approach now though. But I have a board then of course even Magic the Gathering though. I want to even approach them for their designs. So Magic the Gathering is a sort of board community that's around it though. And anyone gets a card is also a board dreaming. So I want to approach it though. Even Marvel DC. So maybe this year once I have some significant work is relate Kuravan, I can even approach them.
That's really good. If you like, I think you can really do it because you've already got commissioned by people like Jacksepticeye and Corpse Husband already though. You are already pretty well renowned art community terega, I think so. By the way,
I hope I can do.
Fennegge gotum wahaka medakkane, so I might come off as a bit of a fan gotakadem wahaka.
No worries.
That's something else I wanted to highlight. Aning me Kuran do aning commission naves mi ude YouTubers like Jacksepticeye and Husband. Commission work always goes on. Even now on pipeline there's a lot of stuff going on other than these NDA projects that that's them priority right now. Commissioners normally understand if there are overhead and border projects they will normally wait. Amoko commission nagaisa if there's no other work. Normally I can deliver within a week. By far check kurang hutta sabu nimma dem by me on echistada. Right when they request it, if they're online online ka bahar tag changes hadamu I can finish it off. Like once I did it a couple of times for the same client, I got within 40 minutes I finished something for him. Ekacheki one of the things was actually and Sekiro he wanted Genichiro and a fight Genichiro he cuts his neck with the sword and Ishin Nikuman. He wanted Etankolo, so right how I request Kurita about in 40 minutes I actually delivered the commission to him, paid, finished everything within an hour. He paid with the product event. That's amazing. Wow. Rane Rajega Uleru me tika art masakan online kokuraru. Do you have any kikabunan any obstacles ever on the Pacific Ule?
Of course, Rajyaga, the biggest thing is, of course, the payments coming in. I think that's the thing most artists struggle with. Mikoluga. Then I was lucky enough to have a PayPal account that's actually tied to an abroad account. So that's how I receive my payments. Aslo. Sorry, a lot of artists reach out to us asking he payments libeni. So I explained to them as it's actually not something that I even knew about Eros. So the Vigati PayPal account, it was tied to an abroad account that's in Malaysia, and that's how I actually get my payments. So Rajyaga, even though you can make a PayPal, වාගතකි ඒකෙන් payments දෙක්කනේ payment එන්නු ලිබේද so වර බෑවරු අසු creatives මෙයාරම වර බෑවරු කුදින් උලේ හම they do commission some even for a lot of abroad clients but payments අසු නුලිබෙන්ඥා ඒ හිසාවන් that creative process අසු stop වනිද I think that's something that PayPal අසු ලකුරුම කියවර බෝඩ creatives help වනකම I'm guessing not just for artists, some are about international clients. A lot of creatives are there. So I'm some very useful. And I think that's a word obstacle. And I got the learning edges. I don't think there's an obstacle because all this information right now is online. Even myself, YouTube and Gumroad and ArtStation. Every day still goes on a process.
Nice, that's very inspiring. එන්නේ වනේ like රාජ්‍ය කාස්ට උලේ වරත් තපාත වරක් talented මිහුන් එකම හැම කොම්මේ මිහකම් වෙස් එක final එක about obstacle නම් යන්නනේ එක payment ඇතිද
when Furathama when I did my exhibition I did 2015 රාජ්‍යක Furathama exhibition I started painting around 2012 එකම ඒරු උලේනදී another artist Manje so they hosted art festival in Erada. So 2015 I joined the exhibition and that's the first time I saw Rajyaga digital art. I think for the first time someone even exhibited. I'm not sure exactly. And I actually even managed to sell something. So shout out to who bought from me at that time. Thanks so much. And that was very supportive. I sold some of the earlier things I did. Then there were not many digital artists around, and when I explain them Photoshop and all, people know Photoshop mostly as something photo edit so bodang a distinction and seeing that art, this is art that's been done exactly traditional media kura gotang canvas ek paint you start it off it's the same way but understand so I actually had like there was a TV process which is so that was also interesting but since then even in the last couple of years maybe 4-5 years Suresh about digital artists are there in Rajak. One is the accessibility of technology so even iPads and all you can do art right now on it so a lot of people are doing that and also tablets were some more available Korean tablets weren't available malega it's very difficult to get even Vacom so now it's more available now Vacom brands who on so with that accessibility so about digital artists and digital artists market border abroad so Aslo, everybody is locked behind this PayPal gate Aslo bunanyama
ඒති හොළුවාරතන හම හොරියා creatives තකන් හම වරබොඩ
some many other who can sustain themselves some are doing art itself that will be a very nice thing to see Aslo. I think there is a big fight for it PayPal
like people are complaining about it and asnama vara rangalu pointing creatives takang opportunities
many people will become independent as in they can do it freelance most people right now rajagol and artist I think you can count by hand the amount of people who only do freelance so others are of course in a job including myself
so you also day job ek oleya pado mikanta mikurani
I have another job
okay so adi ane hingaba discuss kolla ekka media haratai ane so some someone kiketene kyani
Ah,
Aaron Carter.
yeah.
That whole
2019 actually, yeah.
2019. Okay.
Hmm.
What was that whole controversy? Is it an okay topic on the table?
Yeah, sure. We can discuss, of course. I can talk about how much I love to talk.
Yeah.
So the problem was like Aero. I was traveling for work Aero. So Rashek Gupta, I got a notification on Twitter that someone texted me saying about Instagram account artwork. So this is normal, my daily
Daily
messages.
routine
This is daily routine. Every day, couple of me hunge and account if I have to do some DMC for some artwork we install and all. Then
Okay.
when I checked that one, I saw me account a post for the like 15,000 or something like so like
Wow.
account again. I didn't know who this was account was, like nobody knows because he faded from popularity after Kudero become then anyways, so I DM'd him and then he was very rude and Twitter approach Kurimas thing. You saw how the exchanges were. And that's still on that. You can still see it on that hashtag. No. You can see it on the hashtag.
Okay.
People actually Raja Mihung Maldives tweeting. They introduced that hashtag art. I think art thief around Kata.
Yes.
Yeah. So anyways, even now international people use the same thing whenever he does art theft. He's still up to it. So Mihung this he still does it. Like him friending with a German artist and there's a huge case on it. He's also actually suing him. Anyways, Mikolong lawyers approached, they helped out, and you can't actually try him through lawyers here. So they contacted lawyers in US, and then their teams are coordinating on legal action. No? So it's proceeding actually. It's proceeding in a positive way. And maybe this year we will have actually news of it. That's the extent I'm allowed to discuss. But yeah, like it's proceeding forward and it will finish in a favorable to us.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. Because
he has so many cases against him for art theft and all of those things though.
I would like I also I saw that he was also him bike guard
anyways, I don't know what's happening. He blocked me on all social media after that.
Wow. That was one of those Kikabuna and one of those great moments where the entire country came together.
Yeah, it's crazy. The topic is trending on Twitter and there's 5,000 something tweets on it. Like I'm just reading through it because my lawyers told me not to comment further on it. So I was just reading through him. Then I told people like don't attack personally and don't do those things though, because he was complaining and how old even Twitter is, so I just go wild. So
it's always the thing.
Then he was attacking Mihun though. So the Mihun, if he's retweeting like many Maldivian tweets and he was reaching out he retweet he was being rude so Mihun then he's telling he's getting bullied.
He was being very rude. The guy went out of his way to be rude.
Then of course I just kept all the receipts though. I just took screenshots. I just kept taking screenshots of even after this he stole another lion artwork from a German artist. He did the same thing. He's a very nice guy. And he just kept screenshots of everything he took of it. And then he discusses he wasn't used to the extent my artwork was used, but after the exchange, of course, he also went to take legal action. And even his case, I think, is in court as well. So he's trying for the same one.
That's good. So video gaming side, you've also did some work on like anime, Jujutsu Kaisen, Attack on Titan. Recently, the Digimon It's really good.
Digimon is actually one of my biggest inspirations. TVM on Saturdays 8 o'clock Digimon. So I used to wake up. I used to wake up and then I used to have my VHS. I'm not that old, but we had VHS back then.
Oh, don't
So-
worry. I'm old. I'm old.
So I just like we had a like old VHS back then and some videotapes of none of the. So what I used to do is then post and on TV. Then there's no then internet access and in the
Yeah. Yeah.
So I used to pop the VHS in VHS them for them like tangola hendrone hela VHS for them like rewind koran ko like VHS ke record koran tam beenu tanaka. So like I used to find for them thane that's not occupied 30 වරක
Yeah.
minutes ke gepe banda den komme daku eti record korani bada gadi kada I waited intently thing Digimon dakkane 8 to 8:30 kada.
Yeah.
So 8:30 ka nimma then I'll keep replaying that VHS pause ko from the TV then ero korani Digimon so yeah, so Digimon ero like big inspiration like adikiriya like recently on the adikiriya I mean Digimon even like, PC ge ekane just any komme ero bele gota mes me ar me hundani do
Yeah.
ero you can't you have to wait a week before I can get to the next episode and TV munde ekketi like eti annan men breaks ado so by far by episode miss weswana
Mrs. One, yeah.
so ade recently ekane HS the friend is me yeah ero dona board log photo the log photo kurani hori hatches the kura unnana log ko fam like I used to draw and keep everything no so yeah,
Yeah.
I wish I had those books now I don't
Digimon
so
was
HS yeah HS tributing us to Digimon HS and anime the recent anime HS tammi hama I thought I'll go from this game HS to anime because that's another community though. So these fandoms ke teriyan asu kurehum wagute ki you get a very solid community around your artwork and there of course AI command negative HSS annane amada which did come before us.
Okay. It's like especially your Attack on Titan artwork. I really love how my Etiga characters Takaichi. It looks really good.
Yeah, Attack on that's what I mean. Like Attack on Titan, it's just the Kuraha Aero I did. I thought of doing the 8. I can't draw the 9th one due to spoilers.
Oh yeah.
Of course, I can draw Ymir, but I can't draw the other one though. Anyway, because those story and I put on H, just parody H, and then people were like telling me spoiler. Yeah. So anyways, that one Kuraha. Of course, it got. I don't know how many places it got reposted. Count ever skip no kore weather, but of course, tons of it been stolen though. So kommedo mihar it's a bit slow, but eru hama kommedo I'll get 3, 4, 5 messages saying many tane get about though, and then people normally inform Quran because they know I'm selling my stuff though. So hintantanaka la foria they'll know immediately then report Quran, and so I used to have to file DMC as like it's a very very tedious thing. Attack on Titan HStaka hedi asto fahum me I'm using the current watermark wes me are watermark korana sida onto the characters the kura one kurin no kurang ekota kadda at first evs waraka watermark nas kurang fahum hamekan jani ham logo ekkuda me harama nama ekko jaha pennani because it got stolen so much so
yeah, this is actually good mihara hema komme taneka hutta ingena tami Shimhaq walk so I think
but then you know like meti kuram benawa me hunta me erase kolla iseka berserk hista hama berserk guts kura pen etika am mati ge japin das eti fohela pen t-shirt ka jap
wow.
So yeah, I can't really stop that. Just you have to get used to like
filing DMCS to
filing DMCS and then reporting then credit no kotantan repost kuri me his of course this probably maybe just the tip of the iceberg.
Warang mentally draining work at the komme fahara me fahalo DMCS takaichi.
That's extremely draining. Then me wona got the Instagram guys saying EVS when I was on the explore page but when that femto artwork though I did thinking just random baladur page ge ban repost ko with it has like thousands and thousands of likes. Then it's just credit ko find any Reddit in handle though I post there as well so but then it's not my Instagram handle even though they reposted it. They didn't care enough though, and even the watermark in the bottom is cropped though. I'm like, yeah, I can't do it. I just left it there though. Yeah.
So waragina kantataka wahaka dakke jeda so I think we can safely conclude this podcast though
Sure, no worries. Thanks so much for having me.
Yeah, thank you so much Shimhaq for joining us on this podcast. We are all like fans of yours since you started doing like Bloodborne
thank you
because එම ගේමින් ගස් මිවලන හම වරක් බොඩ එක් සෝස් බෝන් එච්චෙක් වරක් ගදයක් කුලේ තිමියුම් හම all fans of you. So we hope you success in your future projects and your future artworks.
Thanks so much. I hope you even with this MN gaming, I'm looking forward to more articles and all. It's very interesting. Us to me, Maldivian, like I said, we didn't have any website and anything that. It's mostly, I think everybody goes on IG and colleges so there's a nice change of pace.
Yeah, we are looking for like miharden iturang hama written content push karamu medani, since we have a website there's no reason why we shouldn't have
No
reason. Miharam push karamu medani, so you'll see more written content and more products haramenge.
That's good.
All right, thank you Shimhaq.
Yeah, thanks so much. Yeah.